You're listening to the Ill-Advised Wise Guys podcast, starring Uche and Cute Easy.
So we are back with another episode. We are the Ill-Advised Wise Guys. It's your boy Uche. I got my boy
Cute Easy for Sheezy. It's way too easy. In the DMV area, it's a little breezy. I don't know, I feel like we're getting some type of heavy winds and cold weather. It's like a crazy ass rush coming our way, man.
Yeah, I see you got the hoodie on indoors. Damn, you cold,
I got the
man?
hoodie on. It's like 50 degrees right now.
Bro, it was like 75 degrees today, wasn't it?
Crazy, man. No, hell no. It wasn't no.
Oh wait, no, that was
75
yesterday.
where?
That was yesterday.
Bro, you must be in your kitchen.
Bro, I don't leave the house, man. Who knows what the degrees is?
That's true.
This is episode 72?
72.
Yeah.
72 Dolphins. Rest in peace, Don Shula.
Ah, that's a good point. Hey, good point. And,
I believe it's the 72 Dolphins, right? That went undefeated.
I believe, yeah.
Ironic. Don Shula just died this week, actually.
Yeah, rest in peace, man. There's a bunch of people who died, but we'll get into that. Matter of fact, Tua, what's his name? Tua
Tagovailoa.
Bro, what's his last name, man? I don't know anybody who knows that.
Just call him Tua Tag. Just call him that.
All right, we'll call him that. He's on the Dolphins now, man. Hey, yeah. That's the next Dan Marino, they're saying.
I'm not sure he's a starting quarterback for the Dolphins right now. He's still got to edge out my main man, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, but, all right.
He'll be starting soon.
We'll see what happens with that team. But
yes, sir.
Yeah, man, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about in this episode. Man, let's just jump right into it, man. We got some hot topics. The most hated man in the music industry, it seems, 6ix9ine, Tekashi 6ix9ine just dropped his new song. What is it called? Gooba? Is that what it?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, why does all his like song titles sound like? It sounds like freaking baby food. Like, why does that sound like a baby food brand?
Facts. That is facts.
Kuda, Buddha.
Definitely facts.
Well, except for stupid. What'd you think of that, man? Like, what? Is the song good?
So, I'm not gonna say it was good. I mean, I think that's a stretch. I think it was solid. I think it was decent. Now, the vibes on the song is hot. Like, it's a club banger. It's definitely a banger. But the rapping is god awful at times. However, he did sound pretty decent when he, used his inside voice. He sounded pretty decent. But when he's screaming, he's talking about some dumb, stupid, or dumb. Like, what?
Yeah, honestly, the song is, it's gonna sound crazy. I think the song is decent. However, I think his marketing is even better. His marketing and rollout is even better than the song. I don't care if this song was like amazing, but just the way he's able to troll, man, I've never seen anything like this, man.
He'll definitely go down as one of the best hip hop marketers of all time. Point blank.
Hip hop. I'm talking about music.
Even music. He will go down as one of the best music marketers I've ever seen in my life. Like, if you really think about it, he doesn't have that many singles. He has only a few. But every single was so highly anticipated based off of him just like building that buzz. Man. We may need to enlist him to fix our economy because he knows something.
Hey, anybody but Trump? Is that what you saying? Hey, they need 6ix9ine's expertise in the White House.
They need 6ix9ine's expertise, bro.
Yeah, I don't want to get too much into the controversy, man, because we all know he's a snitch, and I think we all know what comes along with that by all of the hardcore hip hop rappers, the street dudes. Listen, man, we talked about this on the last, 3 episodes ago, maybe, and I was like, Yeah, man, it's gonna be real interesting when Homeboy starts dropping music because we're gonna start seeing people's true colors and who's a fraud and who's not and who's doing it for the money, who's doing it for the clout. Man, a whole lot is gonna start happening within the next few weeks. We saw he broke Instagram Live record with like
2 million. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Tory Lanez held it for a little bit with his.
Tory Lanez was like, what was it, 250,000? He shattered it.
Yeah, he shattered that.
And he had Drake on that live.
Yeah, he had Drake on the live, and he had a buzz with the live. I just heard about this 6ix9ine live yesterday.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but let's move on, man. We don't need to discuss that because it's just one song, man. Who knows if the buzz will even last? I think it will, but
actually,
what's up?
Actually, there's something that was interesting about that Instagram live that he posted. He actually talked about why he snitched, and he actually apologized. He apologized for snitching to his fans, and then he said, "Can you blame me? These people kidnapped me. They threatened to kill my mom. They smashed my baby mama. They did this and that." And he was like, they weren't loyal to me, so I wasn't loyal to them. That's what he said.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was key. That was important.
Was it though, man? I did see that. I was one of those people who tuned in while he was during the live. I caught the tail end of it. Because I was curious, like, what the hell is going on? But I don't know, man. In a perfect world, I can see why he would do what he did what he did. But bro, he's the same dude who was like putting out hits on Chief Keef. Like he implicated himself in that criminal organization that was going on. So I don't know, man. It just seems weird.
He did. I don't think personally.
It just seems weird that a dude who was involved in that life that they had going on is now flipping and saying, "Oh man, I snitched. Yeah, I snitched, and I'm proud that I snitched because they were trying to kill me or they're trying to kill my baby mom." Like, it's convenient, man.
He put it on himself.
Yeah.
I would not feel sympathy for somebody that put it on themselves. He was the one that went and he sought after a career in like gangsterism and all that stuff. So when you get in trouble, you went, that's what you wanted, and you got in trouble.
That's all I'm saying. I don't feel no sympathy, and man, I guess I understand where he's coming from, but I don't know, man.
I get where it helped. It helped because he actually was able to explain his way of thinking. But that does not negate the fact that what you did was something that is not necessarily congratulated.
Exactly. Yeah, let's move on, man. Rest in peace to a couple people I want to name. Little Richie, man. Little Richie, the old school rock and roll artist, man. A lot of people say he was the pioneer behind rock and roll.
I heard that.
Died at 89. I'll tell you right now, I ain't listening to Little Richie. There's no reason for me. I'm not on his age level. But my mom used to listen to him. Like when I was a kid in the house, like definitely used to hear Little Richie songs.
Loud Richie.
All of those joints. So hey, I do have one thing though. In the midst of the sadness behind people just dying, right? Was Little Richie the first Lil?
Ooh.
Was he the first Lil? Like, think about that.
Ooh.
Think about that.
The plot thickens.
Think about that. Like little Richie, like over time, people just started going by Lil, but then it's really Little. People also say Lil Wayne, right? Bro, he's 89. I think he might be the first Lil.
What about Lil Rascals?
The movie?
Lil Rascals. That was in 1940s, right? 1950s. Lil Rascals.
Come on. Little Rascals, that movie came out in the 90s. Wasn't that like 95?
Little Rascals is a remake of an old kids TV show or something like that. It's definitely 50s. But
I'm just saying, I think just put some thought into that. He might be the first Lil, man.
It's a good question. It's a good question.
Another RIP that we want to put a notice out is Andre Harrell, man. Again, man, like we're not really, that's not really our era, right? Because we talking about Uptown Records, Jodeci, Casey and JoJo, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, like the original Puff Daddy back when he was a breakdancer, but then like became a producer, obviously turned into a mogul, what he's doing now. But like Diddy is one of them dudes that was discovered by this guy named Andre Harrell. So when you start talking about pioneers in the music industry, he's definitely one of those dudes who shine the light, and also crossing over hip hop and R&B. Like that's also been one of the things that he's been known for. So yeah, rest in peace, Andre Harrell.
Yeah, founder of Uptown Records. I believe Uptown, and he took control of Motown Records, I believe. But yeah, that's a behind the scenes guy that a lot of people don't know, but he's intricate to where hip hop is today. So I'm with you. Rest in peace, Andre Harrell.
100%. And what else, man? What else is on the agenda, man?
Coronavirus, man. We are going on 2 or 3 months of the coronavirus. Are you kidding me? I was actually telling wifey that this thing was going to be gone by March 15th.
Wait, when'd you tell her that?
I was sounding like Trump. I was saying, hey, man, you know what? It's only like 3 or 4 people. In 2 weeks, it's going to be gone. And then 2 weeks later, it was 500 people. And I was like, in 2 more weeks, they're going to find a vaccine. We going on 2 months. You know what's funny?
Tough.
You know what's funny? Now, when I get any type of like runny nose or I get any type of little headache, I'm like, maybe I got the coronavirus, bro. I'm like, the other day, I felt indigestion for like 1 second, and I said, "Oh damn!" Start Googling what is the first symptoms of coronavirus. It's crazy.
Bro, I've Googled that a few times, man. Yeah, I heard. I read one time where they said, and when I say they, I'm talking about any site, man, because I don't even cite my sources these days anymore, man. I just go when it comes to coronavirus. I don't know, man. It just seems like whatever is on the first 3 search results, I'm like, all right, they got to be reputable, right? Come on. No, but one time it said, oh, if you have decreased sense of smell,
yes,
then you may have the coronavirus. I was like, well, what about a stuffy nose? Like I've had plenty of stuffy noses that have prevented me from smelling things. So does that mean I got coronavirus because I can't smell?
Yes,
like I don't know. It's weird, man. But I'm very over precautious right now, man.
I'm too over precautious. I'm actually about to open up my life in about a week or 2. I'm actually going to stop being scared. I'm this close to getting to the point of saying, yo, I'm about to kick coronavirus ass. If it comes my way, I'm going to kick his ass. My immune system, bro, I've been taking my Flintstones vitamins. My immune system is ready to kick anybody's ass right now.
Flintstones vitamins? Yo, I got the gummies. You know the 1-a-day gummies?
I got the 1-a-day gummies too, brother.
You got those too?
I got the 1-a-day gummies too.
Bro, but I take 2 a day.
Oh, you take 2 a day? Oh, damn.
Yeah. Yo, and you know what's hilarious? The damn 1-a-day medicine gummies has a serving size of 2 gummies on the back. Actually read it. Oh. How the hell is this shit called 1 a day, but on the back it says the serving size is 2? I promise you. Go look.
You take 1 serving size a day. Stupid.
Yeah, but that's confusing. Shit. But with the coronavirus, hopefully we get past that, man. But even if we do get past that, there's another thing that they've been talking about in the news, talking about some murder hornets, man. Have you been hearing about that? Bro, what the hell is that about?
Listen, God has just said, bruh, we're gonna make this the most difficult year in human civilization. If the coronavirus don't get to you, let's see what you do with these murder hornets. Murder hornets. Murder hornets is what they call. That sounds like a 90s rap group that could not get a record deal because they were too violent. Murder hornets. Are you kidding me? Murder. And the thing is, every human being is scared of bees. If you are, I don't care if you gangster, I don't care if you got teardrops on your eyes. You are scared of a damn bee.
No. A hornet.
Oh,
what are you talking about?
Twice.
Bro.
Double scared of hornets.
Bro, I've gotten stung by a bee before. I got stung in my ear randomly. I was scared as fuck. The stinger was left there. I ran off my porch back in the day. I was a kid, probably like 10 years old. I've never fucked with bees since. But a hornet? Bro, I'm literally going the other way, like very quickly.
Hornet.
I'm not fucking with a hornet, dog. I'm just not, especially if it's called a murder hornet.
Yo, you better go the other way.
I don't think that interaction is going to end very good.
We don't want beef. We don't want beef with murder hornets, bro.
Murder hornets. Jesus.
Murder
Christ.
hornets can over here. Murder hornets can literally do what Fredo did and say "F America." I'm like, yes, yeah, you're right. You're right. Yes, Mr. Hornet.
Yes, Mr. Hornet. Whatever you say, Mr. Hornet. Do you want more? Do you want more victims, Mr. Hornet? Let me go grab someone, Mr. Hornet. Jeez.
Oh,
but yeah, hopefully that's not a big deal because they're saying that those bees come from China.
Yes, they do.
So ironic, right?
So
yeah.
Chinese, in the words of Trump,
so ironic.
The Chinese hornet. The Chinese hornet is causing havoc. But
oh man,
yeah, pray for us all, man. There's obstacles.
Yeah, man, and also one of the other things that's been going on, man, I think it was Wednesday, might have been Tuesday, but who knows when y'all are gonna be watching this or listening to this. Man, let me say the name right. Hold on, Ahmaud Arbery, right? Like the whole killing of the unarmed black man. Like, dude, I feel like this is such deja vu. You know, like it just feels like every I don't know, 3 to 6 months there's another incident that gets national news of, you know, somebody who was kind of minding their own business, seemingly getting antagonized and ultimately killed, man. So I don't know how much news you've been following with this, man, but just for everybody's information, they did eventually arrest the 2 dudes who carried out the whole killing back in February. But yeah, rest in peace to Ahmaud Arbery. And if you're a runner, there's a whole challenge going on where you can run with him and support the whole movement that they got going on. But yeah, it's sad, man. You know, it's sad. It's sad. Yeah, tragic stuff.
They say driving while black, you know, now I guess running while black is a thing. Yeah, I mean, it's sad. It's, to me, what it is an indication of just a failure of a bunch of systems. It's a failure of human civilization. It's a failure of the law enforcement that we got. It's a failure in, because these people weren't initially charged with anything. These people weren't prosecuted. This thing actually happened in February. And for it to get to May, and now it's just becoming a big deal, and now it's becoming something that we all talk about. That's egregious in all fronts. And we gotta do better. Civilization-wise, law-wise, we gotta do better, man. This is egregious.
I agree. We gotta do better, man, but on so many different levels. You know, we could probably spend the entire show going down the, you know, a list of things that we can do better on. But I think more importantly than anything, man, we just gotta like stay out the way, man. But the thing is, we also can't live in fear, though, right? Because, you know, I feel like you can't really like how do you prevent something like that happening? I mean, the guy was running and he was antagonized, right? Like, it's no different than what happened with Trayvon Martin, right? The whole story is Zimmerman went around and he chased dude because he was like, oh, he shouldn't be here in this neighborhood. He looks like he doesn't belong here. It's a whole lot of that going on, and it's so much deeper than just on the surface of us trying to like change within ourselves. It's like, dude, every moment that you think you shouldn't be able to be victimized, somebody else who you don't know tries to victimize you as well. So I don't know, man. Try to move smartly out here. I mean, and also don't be afraid to own a legal weapon.
Uh-oh.
I'm just saying. Who knows, man? If Homeboy was running with a weapon, he maybe could have defended himself. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of takeaways. I will say that. There's a lot of takeaways with that story.
Yeah, but we got some new music to talk about, man. I think let's liven the mood with some new music. How about that?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, man. Let's do that.
Either that or like you got some candy or something.
I don't know.
Virtually send me some candy, like some Snickers. The other day I had some Starburst, dog. I almost caught diabetes on the spot. My body can't take the sugar, bro. I think if you give me a pack of Starburst, I probably can't finish that thing for a week.
Yeah, right, man. Don't give me a bag of Starburst. I might fuck around and finish it in an hour. Like
I would take some knives,
bro,
cut that thing into pieces.
Starburst is one of those candies that I literally cannot stop eating. You can't just eat one. You just can't.
Oh, yes, you can.
No, you can't. It's impossible. It's against the Starburst eating rules.
I mean, right? When I was a kid, obviously, like, I would say, do we have to eat dinner? Can we just eat candy? Can we just eat Starburst for dinner? But nowadays, as a 30-year-old, my teeth get hell from Starburst.
Yeah, man. Let's get the show started. So we are back to start the damn music reviews off. I'm hype. On our Watch the Throne segment, we got the first album by Drizzy, Drake, Rogers. Does anybody still call him that?
No, they don't.
Dark Lane demo tapes. What'd you think of this album, man? Because I'm very, very curious. You've been one of Drake's biggest naysayers. Like, nah, nah, we all like, everybody loves Drake. What do you think of this album, man?
Oh, man. For those that don't know, this was a surprise album. It kind of came out of nowhere. I think, let's say Wednesday, I heard about it, and there was rumors circulating about it dropping. And by Friday, it came out. Complete album. I want to say it's about 14, 15 tracks on there. And it was good. I mean, in a sense of a mixtape, which that's what it is, it's good for a mixtape. Very random body of work. I feel like every song is like different from one another. Like, for instance, Chicago Freestyle doesn't sound like a song that he would make these days. It kind of sounds like a song he would have made 8 years ago. Then you talk about songs like from Florida with Love. That's another song that kind of sounds like it's a little outdated. But then at the same time, he had songs like Tootsie Slide on there. He had songs like Pain 1993, which sounds like music you would hear today. So it was interesting. It almost sounded like very similar to that mixtape that he dropped a couple months ago. The one where he had a whole bunch of unreleased songs, put that together, and it was just kind of all over the place. I don't know if you remember the name of that mixtape. Do you remember the name?
No, what are you talking about?
It was a mixtape he dropped recently that had a whole bunch of unreleased tracks on there. It had, I will get to you. I will tell you exactly what it is. You're going to be like, oh yeah, that mixtape.
This came after Scorpion?
This came after Scorpion. It came in, it's even not even a year old yet. But
I don't know why. I don't know why I'm drawing blanks on this because.
drawing blanks? Oh man, it had all his old stuff. But anyway.
Care package.
Care package. Thank you.
Care package. Yes, I remember that now.
It almost feels identical to Care package. So, like I was telling you earlier, you know, what you're always going to get from a Drake album is good bars. You're always going to get high quality melodies. You're always going to get vulnerability. You're always going to get good beats. All that stuff is on this album. But I wouldn't even say it's a knock, but my only thing about the album that doesn't make it great to me is that it almost feels like practice. Practice. We talking about practice. It almost feels like practice. It feels like demo tapes, which is exactly what the name of the album is, right? It just feels like a whole bunch of demos that Drake put together. It's not necessarily songs he would campaign for, but it's just songs he kind of had laying around. And so, all in all, I think for a mixtape, for a demo tape, whatever you want to call it, it's a decent body of work.
Okay. Hey, you're not off, but I'm very curious of what you would grade this, man. With all that being said, I mean, what kind of grade would you give this?
I would say a B minus C plus. B minus C plus. It's enjoyable, it's listenable, but it's not great.
Wow. Well, okay. I mean, to say all of that and then to call it a B minus, all right. I'm not mad at that, but let me give you my review, and then I guess we can debate about it a little bit more, because for me, when I heard the album Dark Lane demo tapes, first and foremost, I was confused as to why it was marketed as a mixtape. Like that to me gave me everything I needed to know going into this project about what I was about to hear. Like at least the direction of the music, the maybe even like the synergy of the songs from song to song, like how strong the music was. Because I'll tell you right now, man, when I threw this on, I was very confused at why everything just sounded so low key. I mean, yeah, the album says Dark Lane demo tape. I don't even really know what that means, but I will say all the music sounded, for the most part, with the exception of Tootsie Shuffle, it sounded very dark, right? Like
what the hell is Tootsie Shuffle?
Tootsie.
You mean Tootsie Slide?
Oh wait, what the fuck? Tootsie Slide, Tootsie Shuffle. Hey, that lets you know. Wait, hold on. It's really called. It is called Tootsie Slide.
You said Tootsie Shuffle.
I don't know why the hell I said that, but
talking about.
It might as well have been a damn shuffle. What the fuck? Like, what that? Have you seen the dance?
Of course I saw it.
Do you know how to do it?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. It took me a long time to do it. You know,
Get the fuck out of here. You know how to do the dance? I know how to. I learned it pretty quickly. It's easy.
It's easy. Oh, but I struggle. Yeah, I know. I struggle with coordination, but I got it down pat after 100 tries.
Yeah. But okay, so bottom line to me, the music sounded very dark. I mean, not really. I expect that from Drake because he gets into his vulnerable bag, and I like it every now and again. Matter of fact, I like it majority of the time. I was very thrown off by a lot of these songs, though. I will say, like for example, the song with Playboi Carti,
1993 freestyle.
Kane, 1993.
Yeah.
I mean, the song was kind of cool. Like, when it first came on, when I first heard it, I was like, all right, this is not bad. Playboi Carti just kind of threw the song off. And I know what people are saying, especially the Playboi Carti fans. They're probably like, y'all are hating on Playboi Carti. Everybody has something negative to say about Playboi Carti. It's like, no, I'm actually not a hater on him. It's more so, I just don't really think he fit that song like that, personally.
No, just say it. It was a horrible verse.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? I actually don't think the verse was bad.
Oh,
I don't.
Really?
I put it like this. You know his song "At Me" or "At May," whatever it's called.
Yeah, At Me. Mm-hmm.
Those verses were bad. Like from a rapping standpoint, it was awful. But on this song, he actually was making kind of sense, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I just didn't think it fit. But I'm not here to pick on Playboy Cardi right now.
So you don't got nothing to say about the fact that he's using cartoon voices? What the hell was that?
Bro,
that was weird.
Baby Pluto, man. Baby Pluto. But you know what, man? I don't have a whole lot to say about this album, man. I just don't. It just kind of came and went for me. Some of the best songs on this project that I will want to talk about is Chicago Freestyle. Man, that joint dropped. Remember whenever it came out maybe a month ago? Man, vintage Drake. Also, this album had a lot of samples in it, which was interesting as well. I'll give you guys a little hint of what my ill-advised thoughts is going to be because it's going to be related to sampling and whatnot. But nonetheless, I think the album was just okay, man. It's not a whole lot I need to say about this, although one of the major things that stood out to me was the fact that we have a Drake album, a Drake project that came out, and it just kind of came and went. It just, like, this project just kind of solidified what, I'll give you credit. You said, I don't know, a couple episodes ago that Drake's reign, his dominance in rap, in hip hop, whatever you want to call it, is coming to an end. I feel like that statement is more clear and more evident today than it was then, right? Because Drake should not be able to drop a full-length project and we listen to it and then nobody's raving about it. Bro, that's not Drake. We're used to hearing that from people that we don't really love as much. So overall, I would say the music is good. I don't think it's great though, personally. I would give it about a C+ though. It's good music. It could have been better, but hey, I see why it was called a mixtape. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, to kind of piggyback on the point that you made about the album just felt like it came and went, I 100% agree with that. But if you notice when I said that, there was a trend of Drake singles that came and went. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. Behind Bars came and went. Amaretta, I don't even remember what that sounds like. Remember he dropped the 2-pack, Amaretta and the joint with Rick Ross came and went.
Yeah.
He dropped the joint with Sway Lee, Won't Be Late. I did not see it get any type of burn.
That was Sway Lee's joint though.
It's still like, come on, Sway Lee and Drake are two.
It's still a Drake collaboration. It should make some noise, right?
It should make. Remember Drake? Here's another one that nobody talked about. Drake hopped on a song with Kevin O'Chris called "Very Bizarre," called Ella y Du Tempo, where he was, I believe, speaking Spanish. Came and went. Most people gave Summer Walker, when he had that song, Drake and Summer Walker, Girls Need Love, most people give Summer Walker credit. They don't care about Drake.
100%. Drake just hopped on the bandwagon. That's all.
Yeah, so
he hopped on the bandwagon.
This is no knock on Drake. This is not his fault. He's still as good as he was before. I think it's just there's so many Drakes in the industry that have come and gone. And music has kind of elevated past the type of music that he makes, to be honest with you. Which, by the way, like I do feel like that the importance of Dark Lane demo tapes is that he does play around with a whole bunch of different styles on there. You know, he does some drill music. He does some, whatever the hell you want to call that Playboy Cardi song. He does that type of music. So just want to add that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see, man. We'll see if people are still messing with Drake. Although it needs to be mentioned that he had the song with Future, of course, Life is Good. That was dope. Mm-hmm. That was dope. We can't act like that song wasn't hot and that one wasn't a big song, right?
He's still doing bangers. He still got bangers.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, let's move on, man.
Next,
man.
the next album that we about to talk about is arguably one of the best that came out in the last month. Chris Brown and Young Thug, Slime and B. What you think about it?
Man, what do I think about Chris Brown and Young Thug, Slime and B? I think that this was an album that showed so much versatility that I don't even think people were really ready for this. I wasn't ready for it. I mean, I'm very familiar with what Young Thug does artistically, from a clothing standpoint. I've seen him wear dresses. I've seen him do every possible thing. But this was a very surprising project to me because as unpredictable as Young Thug is musically, we've seen him do country music. Chris Brown, unpredictable. Personal life, also artistically, he does a whole bunch of stuff as well. I was not expecting this project to be so well put together from a collaboration standpoint, right? We got quality songs. We got some decent features here and there. Although I will say, if this project did not include any features, I think it would still be really good. Like, that's how good this project is, right? It starts out with Say You Love Me, very, very good song. Then it transitioned into Go Crazy. I think those are two strong songs to start the project with. And, you know, we talked about this offline. Big Slimes, Gunna's performance on Big Slimes, he kind of stole the show for me, although I think Chris Brown had a really, really good part in that song as well. Overall, it was a really, really good song. You know, and then you start getting into some other songs that are really bangers on here, man. Animal, City Girls, Stolen. I think my biggest takeaway with this project is that, number one, Chris Brown he's even better than what we thought he was. Like, we've always known Chris Brown to be the very talented performer, always making great music, right? But like, for him to continue on and keep putting out good projects, but like collaborations now. Like, what was the last collaboration project that Chris Brown dropped that people actually cared about? I'm trying to think, and I feel like it was probably the Tiger one.
Chris Brown, Tiger, yep.
What was the name of that? What was the name of that joint? Not Face Off. It was called damn. I don't remember. It was coming to me at some point. You remember? You know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
I know what you're talking about. They had
Deuces on it.
Fan is something fan.
Fan of a fan.
That was part 2. They dropped 2. They dropped the mixtape and then they dropped an official album.
That's true. I like the mixtape. I think that joint came out like 2009. I don't remember, man. But that is, huh?
That mixtape had Deuces on there.
It had Deuces on it, right? Chris Brown, he doesn't really give us too many collaborative projects, although he works with a ton of people. So for him to have this collaborative project, I think came out of the blue, and I was very surprised. This is a very, very strong and random project by Young Thug and Chris Brown. I'm gonna give this a strong B. It's a very good project, man.
That is right on the money. Let me just put it that way. I knew you were smart. That's why this ill-advised wise guys works.
Hey.
You're a smart man with a Seinfeld shirt.
I'm smart and ill-advised. And I'm an overachiever.
Overachiever. There we go. There, now you're talking. You know, I said something on, I believe, Twitter. I said, you know what? Sometimes oil and water does mix. The styles of Chris Brown and Young Thug are so different that from somebody looking from far away, you would not see how the two styles would work for a full body of work. Maybe a song. You're like, somebody has to budge. And to me, if you're an artist that can budge, or if you're an artist that can sacrifice, that makes you a great artist. And so on this album, Slime and B, the amount of sacrifice Young Thug did as an artist was unbelievable, right? Because they're two dominant figures. Young Thug's a dominant figure, Chris Brown's a dominant figure. And I don't think there's anybody on this planet that can overshadow Chris Brown in any song they collaborate. Chris Brown overshadows Drake. Chris Brown overshadows anybody. When he gets on a song, he gives it 110%. Chris Brown is the Russell Westbrook of the music industry. Like, he's putting in serious effort to every single song that he does, every single collaboration, every feature, every whatever. Chris Brown was on a Burner song and he put up the performance of a lifetime. Like, Chris Brown tried.
We knew Burner. We know Burner needs a Chris Brown feature. Just want to point that out there.
Burner needs everything. Burner needs stimulus check for Burner needs.
Burner needs the. Burner don't even have any kids, and he needs the $500 kid stimulus check. You know, they give everybody with kids $500 each child. Yo, give him more money, even though he don't have any kids. It's all good though.
But you know, I was so surprised at the chemistry between Young Thug and Chris Brown on this album. The chemistry was phenomenal. You know, obviously Chris Brown was the dynamic R&B guy, but Young Thug added like well-needed sliminess, well-needed trap vibes, well-needed gangsta feels, well-needed like, you know, just grittiness to the album. And the way that they meshed together was perfect. Now, something that can't be overlooked is the production on this album, man. Like, you mentioned a couple songs like Animal and Stolen. Those are dynamic R&B joints. Like, those are high-quality R&B joints from a production standpoint. The beats are riveting. They're cinematic. Just the structure of the songs are, like, unbelievable. They're hypnotizing. But all in all, it's a great album. But let's be real, though. Chris Brown carried that album. That is a Chris Brown album featuring Young Thug. And for Young Thug to be able to kind of take a back seat but still shine in his own unique way, that is very special. That to me is more impressive than, you know, him taking over an album, honestly.
Wow. Great.
Oh, that's definitely a B. Definitely a B. Not quite an A. I wasn't completely blown away by the album. I don't give many albums A's, to be honest with you. But it's definitely a good body of work that is dynamic and quality, man.
Hey, man, we agree. We agree on that.
Young Thug don't make bad albums, folks. He does not. He simply does not make bad albums.
Bro, Young Thug doesn't do many things bad. Honestly.
He does something.
Well, except for like maybe his health, but you know, who's counting? Shall we move on?
I believe so.
Let's do it, man. So the next project that we have to talk about is Kehlani, who dropped their new project called It Was Good Until It Wasn't. What'd you think about this, man?
First and foremost, man, I do not like that title. I don't know if you heard, there was some controversy about, you know, oh, Drake was the one that helped Kehlani come up with the title. I don't think the title is tight, so I don't even think there should have been controversy for who came up with the title. But anyway.
Wait, hold on. You don't like the title? Like, what do you think? What's wrong with it? You think it's dumb? Or I don't understand.
It's like, okay. You know, you look at the title and you're like, okay. So what are you trying to accomplish? It was good until it wasn't.
Bro, come on, man. We've seen worse. Is it really that big a deal to call out that it was bad? We've seen Gucci Mane come out with countless bad title covers, title art, whatever, and nobody says anything.
Yeah, but Kehlani, Kehlani, I have higher expectations for Kehlani. I have higher expectations. Like, it was good until it wasn't. It screams out plain, brother. It screams out mundane.
I feel you until you listen to the music, but nonetheless,
her previous album was a good title, right?
What was it called?
Her previous album,
Sounds something crap.
I believe that crazy something, crazy love something.
I'm pulling this up. Oh, that's what it's called.
What is it called? Crazy.
Sweet Sexy Savage.
There you go, Sweet Sexy Savage. Now,
no, she had a song called Crazy. That's what it was.
Isn't that a sick ass title?
I like it.
That's
I like it.
Sick ass title.
You know what this new album is? I'll definitely let you have the floor, but this album title reminds me of Nothing Was the Same.
Go ahead. So that's why Drake. I have no doubt in my mind Drake came up with that title because it sounds just like that. Nothing was the same. But anyway,
carry on.
That's another bad title, by the way. But Kehlani is such an interesting figure. It's more than just the music for Kehlani. It's us caring about her personal life, and we all know she went through a whole back and forth with YG. They're no longer together, and you knew they had a tumultuous relationship. I wasn't a fly on the wall in the relationship, but I can just tell just based off of reports that came out and stuff that Kehlani came out and said. So this album, she's never going to tell you that it's about YG, but it's so clear and obvious about YG. She got songs like Toxic where they're like, I hate your guts, but at the same time, you got good D, blah, 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 blah. Effing MU, stuff like that, where she's really open, whatever the case may be. I don't like to get into the gossip part of people's life. But what I will say is that the way that she straddles the line between romantic and deranged on this album is fantastic. She is capable of getting in her feelings, but then she's capable of getting erratic. It's crazy, right? It's almost like listening to Ron Artest rap or sing. the level of bipolarness that you get on this album. And the thing is this, ladies are going to all defend her. I get it. Ladies going to be like, yo, Kehlani, she's just a girl. She's going through the emotions. No, that is bipolar behavior by Kehlani on an album. And I love it. It's beautiful.
Yo, she called on one of the most bipolar of them all, Jhené Aiko, carry on this album.
Yeah, Jhené Aiko's troubled.
You want to talk about deranged? Jhené Aiko, she legit has issues. I feel mentally. Yeah. Doesn't it feel that way? But
Jhené, see, I feel like I could date Kehlani and everything would be okay as long as we don't touch certain soft spots. We'll be okay. I feel like Jhené Aiko will actually get mad at something that she was not going to get mad at earlier.
Bro, yo, I feel like with Jhené Aiko, I don't even feel comfortable going to sleep around her. That's how bad this is. It's like, yo, am I gonna wake up alive?
like my main man T-Pain said, wake up dead.
Bro, that's got to be a real thing. But I
ain't trying to wake up dead.
Hey, carry on.
But anyway, Kehlani, the music. But here's the thing: you can be bipolar, you can be troubled, you can be crazy in love, you can be whatever the hell you want to be. Is the music good? And I think Kehlani makes beautiful R&B music. Her melodies are on point. Her singing, which I think she's a very underrated singer. I don't think people give her enough credit for her ability to reach certain notes and hit us with certain styles of singing. That's amazing. Her singing is great, and just her urgency in every single song that she makes is so appealing to listen to. You don't even have to be a fan of music to enjoy it. So all in all, I think it was good until it wasn't. Very, very good album, Bad album title. Overall grade, I give it about a B. Borderline B plus.
Okay. I'm not mad at that review, man. Although I really just don't think the album title was as bad as you're making it seem. But hey, art is up for interpretation, man. Hey, who knows? I'm curious. I'm curious if people feel the way you feel. But well, not about the music, but about the album title. But whatever. That's a solid review, man. I think you were actually on point with majority of the stuff that you said, because I really feel like Kehlani showed her entire self on this project. Like, obviously, I don't know her personally. And, you know, that's the whole thing with music, right? We don't know these artists personally. So the idea is, as a fan, as just somebody who's consuming the music, how authentic does it sound, right? Now, I'll tell you one thing, when I listen to 6ix9ine, everything sounds fake. I'm just telling you. I don't believe anything because I know it's not true. I know majority is not true. But again, that's besides the point. With Kehlani though, man, you're right, man. She had the relationship with YG, which was well documented, right? Matter of fact, YG came out with a new song. We'll talk about that later, I believe, right?
Yep. Yes, we will.
Overall, this album just really came across like she had a lot of growth within herself. So I think I heard you say that. I'm not sure if you did, but if you didn't, that was my biggest takeaway with this album. From especially comparing this one to the last one. And I know you talked about her last, I guess, full-length album, which you're right. It's called we just talked about it.
Sweet Sexy Savage.
Sweet Sexy Savage, but do not forget about While We Wait. That EP that came out. I don't know.
That was great. That EP was great.
That was a great project. Like, I'll be honest, that was the project where I said, whoa, Kehlani makes music that's really good like this. I had no idea. I knew who she was. I knew she could sing. I knew she was this newer artist out of, I believe she's from LA, somewhere around there.
Bay Area.
Okay. Bay Area, there you go. But that was the one that really got my attention, was that While We Wait. Nonetheless, she has some really good songs on this project, man. This new, it was good until it wasn't project. You start talking about Can I, which was the second song on this project, which has Tory Lanez on it. Not a great song, but I do like the back and forth concept that they have on this project. Of course, it starts out with Toxic, like you said. You didn't really, I don't remember you loving this song when we talked about this on a couple episodes ago. Remember, we actually discussed this a little bit. Remember? We talked about Toxic and you were like, yeah, I'm not really feeling it like that. I'm wondering, did it fit better because you heard the whole album, or do you not think the song is that good?
It definitely fit better with the whole album, with the theme of the album. It definitely did. And that's, I always say it. It's like, when a song like that comes out, I think it would fit better, which, by the way, with the YG song that we're about to talk about, I think that would sound better on a full-length album than it would as a single. So I didn't appreciate Toxic as a single, but definitely in the grand scheme of the album, hell yeah, that thing fit.
Okay, yeah. So I was just very curious in how they led off the album with Toxic, but hey, nonetheless, I think that's still a really good song. And like I said, majority of the songs on here are just really good, man. Like, she's one of those artists that just make really, really good to great music. It's really hard to say that any one of her songs are not good.
She doesn't have a single bad song on her.
Like if anybody ever opens their mouth and says Kehlani makes bad music, I would question their musical acumen. I really would. And I don't even say that word, acumen, right behind musical. But for Kehlani specifically, if you ever say her music is not good, I'm like, bro, what are you listening to? What do you think is good at that point? But I digress. This album is good, man. I will say, Okay, go ahead. I just want, before you ask the question, I just want to highlight a couple songs that I think that's some of the best. the song with Lucky Day,
Yeah.
Can You Blame Me? I thought was fire. What else? Not Belong to. Everybody's Business. I think you talked about that. Really, really good. And the song right after the Lucky Day one, man, Grieving with James Blake. Those are some of my favorite ones on the project. But
okay, I mean, there's like I was saying, it's not a single bad song on that project. I think we can all have different top fives, but we can all agree that they're all good songs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
I like F and MU. I like that song. It's short, but I like it. I like the Tory Lanez joint.
Yep.
I like Everybody's Business. I even like the joint with Janae Aiko. Can you imagine the two have linked up for a song? Oh my God, every man in the world go hide under the bed. But I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
On 1 to 10 scale, how uncomfortable as a man did you feel listening to this album? Because I will tell you right now, I felt uncomfortable, a level of uncomfortable listening to it as a man. So it's funny because the female R&B artists, they make men feel uncomfortable for various different reasons, right?
Yeah.
Like Summer Walker makes you feel uncomfortable because she comes across as somebody that would shoot you. Janae also comes across as somebody that would shoot you too, by the way.
No. Janae, I feel like Janae will stab you.
Okay.
Like she's more passionate.
Torture you?
Yeah, like she's like the passionate lover. Like, like she wants to torture you and anyway, go ahead.
And then you got Megan Thee Stallion. Seems like she wants to dominate you and slap the hell out of you and punch you in your face. I felt uncomfortable with Kehlani because I felt like she was hollering at me throughout that whole album. She was buttering you up, right? She had some like nice little sweet talking in there. She was slick with the words. She's mad slick. Like she'll hit you with, like, for instance, on F and MU, she talks about purposely making her man mad just so they can have some good loving. Like, bruh, what? Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
I cannot imagine. Another thing she said. Now, first off, that's a good observation because one of the other things that I observed, and I forget the name of the song, but she dove into, and she's never hit this, but like she dove into her sexuality, right? Like, and how she likes men and women. On one of the songs, she was like, I feel like I want to give you my last name. She was talking about, I was hollering at, like, she was talking about a relationship she had with a girl that she wants to wife up so bad, talking about, I want to give you my last name. I'm like, bro, I've never heard a woman say ever.
Kehlani is a player.
Never heard that before.
See, watch my mouth. Player. What movie is that? What movie is that? It's a black movie.
Oh, that's Friday.
Read my lips. Player.
That's Chris Tucker.
Chris.
I would say it's either
Friday or Money Talks.
I was about to say it's either Friday or Money Talks. Either one. I think he said it in both, actually.
Oh, man.
Let's move on though, man, because I think the project was good. I don't know if I graded it, but I give it a B. A B.
Okay, there. All right. Our next joint is Nav, Good Intentions. What do you think about the album?
Yes, sir. So, I couldn't wait for this actual album because I had a whole lot to say about Nav when I listened to the album. And then a whole bunch of time has gone by since I heard the project to now, and I'm just like, should I say it? Should I not? I'm just gonna go say it. Nav is better at talking to the ladies He's better. He makes better music when he's talking to the ladies than when he's talking about guns and drugs. As crazy as that sounds to maybe some people,
oh man,
I think this album solidifies that. It just makes the most sense at a time like this, because with this album being so long, and that was the other thing, man. This album is so long, unnecessarily.
oh.
bro.
He's better at talking to the ladies than talking about guns.
I think
oh man.
Listen, I reserve the right to change my mind, but I think at this point it's solidified. Because all right, let me get serious. Because when I threw the album on, I wasn't really expecting much, honestly. And we talked about this, man. Nav dropped his last project called Bad Habits, which was a #1 album, surprising him still to this day, because even on this project, he talks about how he's still surprised at being #1 on that last project, right? Like and granted, maybe he didn't ever see his career going this far. Maybe he had a whole lot of haters, him being a brown boy, the self-proclaimed brown boy. But Nav is one of those artists that on his 5th studio project, because that's what this is, 5, he's dropped more projects than Kendrick Lamar.
Crazy.
That's a fact.
Crazy.
He's dropped more studio projects than Kendrick Lamar.
You're right. It's crazy.
I think this is one of those like make or break moments for Nav, because it's like, dude, how have you dropped 5 projects, but yet the culture, the hip hop landscape, the people who have historically been tastemakers and telling people what's good and what's not don't really know who you are as an artist, right? Like, it feels like he's never really given us himself in the music. He's given us glimpses, right? He's given us a little taste here and there. He's addict. He messes up with the girl. He drinks, does whatever. I think on this project, Good Intentions, the second part of this album is the best. The second part. I'll give you the exact song where the album starts to get very good to me. At the song with Gunna called Codeine. From Codeine down, this is a really, really good project. Really good. I say really good because he gets into his vulnerable bag, like exactly what I was talking about, right? I personally, I've been waiting for Nav to really just feel comfortable in the music, to just let loose and just not give a fuck what I feel like anybody has to say. And I feel like he did that on this project. I really feel like he did that. I feel like he accomplished that, man. He gave us the melodic sound that we normally are used to, the robotic sound. He gave us the gun toting, drug sipping, all of that stuff. He gave us the normal content, but I think what he did more than what he was doing on his last 4 projects was really get vulnerable enough to talk about women and the girls that are in his life and how that makes him feel and how he treats them. Call me crazy. I think Nav actually makes good music when he talks about the women in his life. I just feel that way. So overall, this was not a great project. It wasn't a great project, but I do believe it was good, with the exception of the first few songs that I just feel were a little repetitive from what I hear from Nav on a regular basis. So overall, I'm gonna give this album a bordering C+, but I'm gonna give it a C. It's average. It could be better, though.
Okay. I mean, you gave it a lot of praise. You gave some serious praise there, but I understand.
I did.
I understand, certain artists, right? We almost root for to do good. So when they start doing more positive music, not positive as in like, good, goodwill. Positive as in they start doing things that you would call productive when it comes to music making. You start to give them points for it. Well, if they were so bad to begin with, then even if you did give them points for improving certain things music making wise, they're still at the most average. So to me, I think with this album, Nav simply reached average. He was fighting an uphill battle because I think Nav as an artist, especially after he dropped his first album, was actually a bad artist. When he dropped Perfect Timing, I feel like he was a bad artist. And he actually said that he was actually struggling with music. He said he didn't take music as serious as he wanted to in interviews. He said that after Reckless, he started to actually pay attention to music again, like care about music again. And so it's not a coincidence. He was a really bad artist back then. With his project before Good Intentions, with his project before Good Intentions, Bad Habits, I thought he was getting to a point where he's like, okay, I get where he's coming from. He's getting better, but he's still not there. This album, he got there, but him getting there is still below average to me. So here's the thing. At the end of the day, his style of rapping or singing or whatever you want to call it, there is no freaking way that could translate to good music. There's nothing he can do. Like if you're going to use auto-tune that heavy, if you're going to talk about drugs and guns and stuff lyrics that I really kind of tired of, there's nothing you can do to make good music. You know what I'm saying? So he starts off as average already, as a rapper, as a singer, or whatever you want to call it. But what I think he does really well on this album is that he consistently dishes out bangers that are at least appealing. He dishes out songs that you can say, oh, at least my head is nodding. Oh, okay, at least I can feel it. At least it does something for my mind. But at the end of the day, that's not enough for me to say that it's a good album. At the end of the day, it just means it's average. That there's aspects that are cool, but it's still average. So I get it. The praise is deserved. He has improved as an artist. I get it. This is probably one of his better albums. But at the end of the day, he's not what I would consider a good artist. And good artists don't make good albums. I wouldn't consider this a good album. I would consider it average. And he'll never get above average. with his style of rapping, to me, he will never get above average.
So you said something key. With the style of rapping, how does the content change that at all for you? Like to my point, right? I personally feel like, and listen, if you disagree with this, that's cool. But I do feel like when he gets vulnerable, it elevates his music from average to slightly above average. Like it has a little bit more appeal because he can at least kind of relate to some people that maybe would never listen to his music. Like for example, he got the song with DJ Mustard. I don't even think that song is great, but just the simple fact that he has a song with DJ Mustard with the content that he's talking about in that album, in that song, it just has a different audience.
It makes it above average. It makes it an above average song. Still in the average bracket.
It's still average.
Still average, but never good. I mean, so there is a couple of songs on the album that are above average to me. Like, for instance, I thought Run It Up was above average. I actually liked the song.
That was a good song, yeah.
I like Status with Nav and Lil Uzi Vert. I thought that was a pretty decent song.
You know what's crazy? I like that song too. It reminded me of YC and Future, Racks on Racks. Go back and listen to the song. They rapping with the same.
Interesting.
But anyway,
but in the end of the day, it's like, come on, guys. Like, I do have a beef with this. And this is not to Nav's, this is not Nav's fault. It's our fault. Nav, I appreciate him. He's a quality guy. I'm pretty sure he has a great ear for music, but we cannot allow ourselves to dumb down our ears and tell ourselves, try to convince ourselves. A dude that sounds like an answering machine, that talks about some hood stuff that you don't even believe, is good music. How could you convince yourself to that? I personally cannot.
Hey, do not open this can of worms, because, and first off, I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree. I'm saying that same exact statement can be made for so many people that make music today that people think is hot. We would be having a podcast for 15 hours if I named all the people who people claim is fire, but when you really get down to the musicality, how is it considered good? It's really average, if anything. Like, I agree with this. Nav makes average music. And I do think it's ironic. Not ironic, but I do think it's kind of sad, actually, that if you really look at Nav's discography, right, you can argue his best music was his first project.
It was.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
The number one, first time he had ever dropped a project in his life. He said this on the interview. He never dropped a project before. That was his first time ever dropping music. That was his best project. Why is that?
Because at the time, we haven't heard that sound. At the time, it was a sound that we were still trying to figure out. Like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, the vibes of the album, it meshed really well. But then at the same time, I'm not gonna sit here and say that that album was good or great. It was decent. It was intriguing. It was an interesting album. It wasn't good or great to me. So, I mean, it's just me. I mean, I listen to thousands and thousands of artists and music, so I probably am coming from a different perspective. But let's not act like this is the greatest thing. The reason why people like it is because he's improved. Everybody is right up until this point. Nav's career has been a bit of a disappointment. So when you start to see a trajectory of him starting to, okay, he's getting a little better. Well, if you were at the bottom and you start getting a little better, you're still near the bottom. You're not at the top. So that's kind of how I feel. And I'm not trying to be harsh.
Hey,
I'm calling it how I is. That's just how I see it.
Hey, I feel you, and I also do want to point out, because I feel like nobody wants to say this. This is actually a very important point. And I'm not holding this against him at all. I think it's dope, but I think him being a brown boy adds to the effect, right? Like, I know, like, people like to act like that actually has nothing to do with why, like, he has a slight buzz in music, bro. Like, we ain't never seen a dude like him rap. It's never happened. Although if you ignore that, which I'm willing to do because I really don't care about that stuff, I do think some people do. If you're just looking at the music, it's average.
It's average.
Just point blank, it's average.
I think him being a brown boy actually helps his case. I think it makes him more appealing. It makes him somebody that you want to listen to and pay more attention to the words that come out of his mouth. So it makes him more appealing. And I think, like I said, I think he has a good ear for music. I will say it again. His style of rapping is one of the worst styles of rapping I've ever heard. Let's be real. Can we be real? Can we be
the worst? I'm not gonna say the worst.
Listen to his. Listen to him. Like, he sounds like an answering machine.
He definitely does.
Bruh, like, he abuses autotune, and then it's like, I don't know. I just personally believe he has one of the worst styles of rapping I've ever heard in my life. One of the worst.
Okay.
Honestly.
I'm I'm not willing to go that far at this point because I think so many people are worse. But I don't really want to even have a competition with who's worse than Nav right now. This is not about who's worse than Nav.
No, go ahead. No, we got time.
No, we don't. No, we don't. We gotta move.
Listen. Okay, give me.
We gotta move on to the next album.
Give me three of your worst rappers that you've ever heard. I know Silk Shocker's on everybody's list. No, two more.
The worst rappers?
Worst rapping voices.
Right now or ever?
Ever.
No. I'll just go right now.
Just name.
I'll go right now who are worse than Nav.
Okay.
Blueface.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I said okay. I agree with you.
Damn right, okay.
Actually, I wouldn't say it's worse than that. I would say.
Here we go.
I would say it's
okay. Blueface.
If you say Quando Rondo, I'm slapping the hell out of you.
Oh man.
Kodak Black.
I'm drawing blanks on names. I got a list, man. Shit. Man, you know what? Come back to me. I can name some guys.
We'll come back.
I can name some guys.
We'll come back. All right.
I can name some guys, man. Trust me. I got a list of dudes who are not better than Nav at rapping. Okay. I don't give a fuck. He sounds like auto-tune, like every single bar. They're worse than him rapping. But hey, it's all.
I didn't say now. Hey. I didn't say he was the worst rapper. I think he's actually he's average rapper.
Oh, you're saying style?
His style. That's what I'm saying. His style of rapping is one of the worst I've ever heard. His lyrics are okay.
Trinidad James.
Okay.
What are you talking? There's plenty of dudes.
Okay. Lil Got It.
Dog, like you're not. Come on, man. You're not doing that.
I said one of the worst.
Don't do that to Nav. Yo, you got me defending Nav right now. Don't do that.
I said one of the worst. All
right. Let's move on. I'll come back to you with that list at some point. The next project, Lil Durk dropped his new, I don't know, mixtape, album, project called Just Cause Y'all Waited 2. What'd you think of this, man?
I mean, I really like Lil Durk, man. I like him as an artist, man. I think he has a chip on his shoulder that has allowed him to become a better artist throughout these years. To me, I think he's actually one of the pioneers of this like melodic rap, like taking it to the next level. Like I know pretty much every rapper sings, but I feel like Lil Durk sings in a way that's a little more soulful, good soulful, a little bit more than the next person. And I think, like we always say, Roddy Ricch ran with that. People like Quando Rondo, Young Boy Never Broke It, they ran with that soulful hood sound. So I think Lil Durk is a pioneer of sorts in that case. In terms of this album, yes, he gets in his melodic bag, but I feel like he gets in his OG bag, man. Like Lil Durk to me is probably one of the handful of rappers that I actually believe his words. Like I believe everything that man says. Like just because his aura, the way that he pieces his thoughts together is yo, bro, like this has to be real.
Bro. Yo, hey, sorry, one example on Viral Moment, which I think that's a pretty good song, right? He got a line where he says, Buka, I think that's one of his mans or something. He said, Buka bought me a cross. Buka bought me a diamond cross, but he know he won't cross me. Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
So your man's bought you a chain, but yeah, he ain't gonna cross me though. Like he wouldn't dare.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's hard.
This album is built on hood loyalty and freaking street codes, dog. Like he's really in those streets. And so when his words, when he speaks, his words are like felt. And then he sings those words also sometimes, and that joint just resonates. Like you don't hear Lil Durk, you feel Lil Durk.
You feel Lil Durk. I like that. That's very accurate.
And so
very accurate.
The interesting thing about this album, so with that being said, my one criticism about this album is a lot of the songs sound the It's hard to decipher between, like you said, viral moment, turn myself in. It's hard to decipher. A lot of the songs have the same vibes, same feel. But then the problem is the songs where he kind of stepped outside of the box, like Chirac Demons. I didn't really feel it. I don't really feel Durk when he is on his gutter, like gritty rap. I don't really feel it like that. He's killed features being gutter gritty Durk, but for a full song, it doesn't resonate with me like those other songs. So it's like he couldn't win with me with this album. Like it was like, man, a lot of the songs sound the same, but the songs that don't sound the same, I don't really care for. So that's my one beef. But as a whole, I think the album is good. I think it's not great. It's like C plus, above average, slightly. It's a good listen. And I feel like it's just that progression. He's going to keep getting better from here. I think he's found that sound that people are going to like and will resonate with people.
Okay, yeah. Hey, once again, I don't know what it is, man. It might be the coronavirus era that we're in, but might be the social distancing. I have no idea what it is, but you've been having some very, very strong takes and ones that are very similar to mine.
I don't know. It's a symptom.
I don't know what it is, but listen, I'm not mad at it. I will say that because you're right on the money for the most part. And I'll try not to repeat what you said because you're right, man. I think I'll start with the fact that I'm happy for Lil Durk. I'm happy for Lil Durk because I feel like he is one of those artists that have been around for a long time. And when I say a long time, bro, I believe he's like 27, maybe 28. And he was part of that whole Chirac, Chicago drill movement, right? Where these dudes was making music when they were young, right? Coming out of the city of Chicago, making music at the age of like 16, 17. So when you really look at it, Lil Durk he's a veteran, actually.
The OG.
He's a vet. He legit is a veteran, but he's still young, and that's a very interesting position to be in for somebody like him. So how has someone that OG but young had such longevity in the game? I feel like it is because of what you just stated, right? His ability to connect the street talk, right? To have music that people can feel, and touch in so many different areas of topics, and then also evolving musically, right? Like I think that's one of the biggest takeaways for me, or for me when I think about Lil Durk and his progression coming up until this project is that he has now ascended into, I think, a stratosphere of music and also artistry that is respected, not only by his peers. It's like, to me, it's obvious. Like when I look at the videos, I see people like Lil Baby in his videos. He even talks about it on the songs where he's like, how am I a hater for, I don't even know, I'm on point today. I'm remembering people's bars. Like, it's fresh in my mind. But
This is dope. That's
bro, he had a line where he was talking about how am I a hater, or how am I dick riding when I'm posting my man who's a rapper, Lil Baby's music, but yet you people who don't know Lil Baby at all, bloggers, this, that, and the third, y'all posting music all day, but nobody calls y'all dick riding. He's like, I just think it's weird when, like, why can't rappers have other rapper to rapper relationships? Why has it got to be fake? He's like, yo, that's really my guy. But nonetheless, that type of real talk, that type of down to earth, just basic, progression in his music, man. I think is why people rock with Lil Durk. People rock with him. He's a real one. It's obvious. Like you hear the music, he is a real one. And so musically, his music has evolved. I think when you start getting into comparisons of who you can say he sounds like, who you can say who spawned a career from him, right? There's obvious names. There's your Roddy Riches, who technically came into the game after Lil Durk, but you can also argue Lil Durk got some of his style from Future and also Young Thug. Like he's also openly said that as well, that he gets his inspiration from them dudes. So I think it's a sticky game when you start getting into who's biting from who. But I think what is undeniable is the fact that Lil Durk has evolved as a musician. He is making respectable music that people actually like these days. And I have nothing bad to say about this album because, number one, it just sounds it's very consistent. You talked about it. You said you can't really pick out song from song, right? I think that was one of the things you said about it. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that was a criticism or just an observation or what. I don't even consider that criticism though, because I feel like that's a catch-22, right? You can that same observation can be used to evaluate a project that is really good by just saying the album was consistent. It had
it flows well.
Yeah, it flows well. Like I think this album flows well. Now, how many hits does it have on it? Well, that remains to be seen. I think he has a couple that are really good. Three-headed goat.
I like that joint.
Three-headed goat is kind of cool, right? Like I thought Polo G and Lil Baby went off. So did Lil Durk. It's a good song, right? Viral Moment is one of my favorite songs on there. Street Affection, Emotional Bars, all of that, I think are really good. What's the other one? Internet Sensation. You know, the song Gucci Gucci with Gunna. I mean, the album has many different elements that I think people are going to like. And so I'm curious, man. I'm curious to see what people think of his music moving forward. But I think, like I said, he makes good music, and I really want to see this dude shine. I really do. You talked about it earlier with Nav and how people want to see Nav shine or rooting for Nav. This is one of the dudes I'm rooting for, Lil Durk.
Oh, I'm rooting for Durk too. I mean, especially after he said he got dropped from his label, I felt like, label heads, that's one they got wrong. They got that one wrong. I think his future is bright. But then again, him getting dropped probably made him, even hungrier. And, people like that, when they're hungry, they on a mission, they drop their best music. But I want to say something that you mentioned. You kind of passively mentioned it.
What's up?
This could be a ill-advised thought, but I'm just going to say it now. When it is all said and done, Future will go down as the most influential hip-hop figure ever. I'm going to repeat it for America to listen to me. Future will go down as the most influential hip-hop figure ever. Now, typically, everybody's going to say, oh, what about Jay-Z? Nobody wanted to be like Jay-Z. They didn't want to... They respected Jay-Z. They appreciated Jay-Z. Jay-Z was talking all this stuff, and they kind of mocked his flow sometimes. I get that, but whatever. Nobody wanted to be like Pac. They appreciated Pac. They liked Pac. They mimicked his style in terms of his thug life style, but they mimicked his rapping a little bit, but not down to a T. Like these artists mimic Future. Man, go and look at some of your most successful artists right now have all said that they have mimicked a little bit of their style, if not a lot of their style, from Future.
Absolutely. You ain't like, hey, you on point. Future needs to get he needs to get his flower. Real talk. I have one addition. I have not an objection because I agree with Future. He's one of those influential dudes. Lil Wayne.
Oh shoot.
Lil Wayne. I might have to. I might have to give it to Lil Wayne.
I forgot about Wayne.
I might.
But here's the thing, though.
It kind of, I'll put it like this. It kind of reminds me of I'll take it to basketball, right? You remember how, like, matter of fact, we're watching this right now. Everybody's watching it right now. The Last Dance with Michael Jordan, right? People know all day, every day that Michael Jordan was the GOAT even back then. The players knew it. Everybody knew it while he was winning championships. They knew who they were playing up against. We got it. Everybody knew he was the best potentially ever while he was playing, but it's obvious now, I think. There have been people who have come along the way and have made their mark on the game as well. They may not have been as successful. They may not have been as widely respected by the masses, blah, 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 blah. I throw in Allen Iverson into this mix. Like, Allen Iverson had a completely new style to play the game of basketball. From when he came into the league, that it literally made the younger kids want to play like him, right? Like, there's people who come along that make the younger kids want to be them. And I feel like Lil Wayne did that. I feel like Future has done that, right? But I'm gonna have to go with Wayne because I think Wayne over Future has just sparked so many different strands of rappers. We haven't even seen the last of it. Like, we're still living in it, so we haven't even seen it all yet.
But here's the thing, though. The reason I say Future, right, is Future has been able to breed the most successful hip-hop artists. Like, for instance, Lil Uzi Vert's a mega superstar. Lil Uzi Vert calls himself Baby Pluto. Like, Juice WRLD openly admitted, I loved Future growing up. Juice WRLD was borderline megastar.
Yep.
Go down the line. Like,
Thug
says Future is an influence. Mega borderline superstar. Like, your top artist right now in the game has had some type of affinity and has gotten influence from Future. Every one of your top trap hip-hop artists. Like, real talk, Migos. I'm pretty sure if you ask Migos, who was one of your biggest influences? Future. Like, Future will go down as one of the top most influential rappers in the game.
I'll put it like this. So back to my example. I think, you know what? I'll give you. I actually agree with that. But I think from where I was coming from was more so aesthetics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stylistically. Future, I think, has impacted the music.
Yes.
More than Wayne has.
Yes.
Wayne has impacted the culture from the appearance. Like,
and that's exactly where I was coming from.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
I'm from the music standpoint.
Yeah, so if you're talking about music, yeah, Future's up there, dog. Future might be the most he might. Now you got a good argument. That's a good argument. It's a good argument. I'm not I don't feel that strongly the other way right now. I just don't.
I'm pretty sure
hey, let's put a poll out though. Let's see what the people think.
Let's go. Let's do it. I would love to hear what people think. But next and last album on the list, Lil Tjay, aka the King of New York, for like one day, and then Tekashi came out, and then it was now wishy-washy again. But he dropped a new EP called State of Emergency. How you feel about this joint, brother?
Hey, man, you said something funny that I was laughing about before you even said it, like last night, because I was thinking about that on my own. Like, man, that was such a short-lived King of New York crown for Lil Tjay, wasn't it?
He had it for like 2 days? Got to hold on to it for a little bit.
And first and foremost, even when he said it, did anybody even overwhelmingly agree with him? Because I think A Boogie still is the most poppin' artist out of New York City. Like, this is pre-Tekashi coming right out, right, with the new music. But he had an argument, though, because he was the one that's actively dropping music, and we know how this shit goes. If you're the one, everybody knows what you've done last. Lil Tjay's hot, kinda, and he's dropping new music, so he's making a claim and he's causing controversy. So I get it, but that was short lived, bro.
But you bring up something that I have a beef with. You know, the thing is, A Boogie. The reason Lil Tjay feels comfortable saying it is because Lil Tjay is popping in New York itself, in New York City. He's popping. A Boogie's a worldwide artist. For some reason, you get denoted points for being worldwide artists. Like, Lil A Boogie is bigger than just New York. So
wait, hold on. So you saying you have a problem with something I said?
No, not you. I'm saying, sorry, you brought up a point that.
Oh, I was like, what the hell did I say you disagree with?
Pretty much what I'm saying is like, you know, like for instance, A Boogie is almost A-list, if not already an A-list rapper right now in the game. Right?
Yes.
Lil Tjay's he's getting there, but he's not close. It almost back then, right? People used to say the king of Atlanta, T.I., and nobody would mention Ludacris. Ludacris was more worldwide at the time than T.I. So they like, hey, he in Atlanta though, and blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, right now, King of New York, you can argue, is Nicki Minaj. You can argue it's Cardi B. You can argue it's A Boogie. You can argue it's, who else?
Bro.
These are worldwide artists.
Look. I'll get into Lil Tjay's album, but I want to respond to that. Not saying that I disagree, but I have something to add because it's like I just personally feel like the King of New York crown is so ridiculously like placed. It's like, bro, I really don't care. The only people who give a fuck about King of New York are the rappers who are from New York. The rest of the world doesn't care who the fuck y'all are talking about. Like, does Lil Tjay even really have a legit argument to say he's
right? I can't speak on it.
Based on what?
I can't speak on it. I don't know how his music resonates in New York. We ain't in New York right now. I don't know.
Bro.
That's why I said.
Hey, rest in peace to Pop Smoke. Pop Smoke was the king before him.
He was doing well.
Let's be clear. Like, it's this whole I ain't gonna call it revisionist history, but like people just feeling like they can just say whatever they want just cause they can. Like, all right, I get it. He can say it, but it's like, bro, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. But I respect the fact that he feels like he can say that. I'm not gonna say he's wrong. I just say I disagree with him, like, completely. If I did care, I disagree with him completely. So, with that being said, how did his new project, State of Emergency, back up that claim as to whether or not he's the king of New York? Well, I personally feel like he didn't give himself a strong case. Am I lying?
You're not. All facts so far.
Bro, am I lying? Okay, so.
All facts so far.
Again, I'm not disrespecting him because I actually like Lil Tjay. I really do. I like Lil Tjay as an artist. I love the pain that he comes with. I love the rawness. You know what I'm saying? For somebody to be able to sing, carry a melody like that, and to be able to rap so rapidly. I know I just said rap
so rapidly.
Yeah, I know. It makes sense.
I get it what you're saying though.
But for him to be able to do that, like, it's impressive. And also, one other thing that I will say is, did you know that one of his like musical influences growing up, and I'm still talking about Lil Tjay, by the way, you will never guess who one of his influences is. Matter of fact, take a wild guess.
Future?
That's a good guess. You're halfway up the way. You're halfway there.
Designer.
No. You're not even in the right ethnicity.
What?
Yeah.
Bubba Sparks?
All right, man. Well, now you're in the right ethnicity. Wrong country and wrong culture. Justin Bieber.
Oh, what?
So I heard an interview that he did with Genius. Shout out to Genius, man, because I really like what they do content-wise at Genius. They interviewed him when he dropped his last project, the one that had FN and all them other songs. And he was talking about, man, I used to love Justin Bieber growing up. He's really one of the reasons why I sing and have the melody part in my arsenal. I was like, what? But that's besides the point.
Bieber.
Yeah, you would never guess. Nobody would ever guess. The King of New York, you would never guess. But honestly, I just think this album is it's kind of like lukewarm to me. While there are some standouts on it, I'm gonna give them some credit because I do like
3 standouts. That's it.
Yeah, but it's a 7-song project, is it not?
Yeah, it is 7 songs. Yeah.
So the song that he had with Pop Smoke and 5004, I think it's Zoo York. I really like that song.
Fire. Joint's fire.
Really, really like that song, right? Other song that I really like is the intro, Ice Cold.
I love Ice Cold.
Ice Cold is a really good song. And then the only other one that I really like before they start getting very, very mediocre is Shoot for the Stars with 5004.
What?
I really like that joint. And more so because I like the hook. Like it has that emotional, that like energy, that pain that I was talking about that I actually like about Lil Tjay. Outside of those 3 songs, I think the project is very average. And if I had to grade it, I would actually give it about a D+ to a C-. Like it's bordering very bad. And the fact that I even said a D is not a good sign. So, hey man.
Oh man.
Hey, I gotta tell it like it is, man. I'm ill-advised as can be right now, man.
Out of the album, I liked Ice Cold, I liked Zoo York, and I liked Getting Lit. I thought Getting Lit was pretty tight. It was a drill. They actually used a drill beat. He used a drill beat, and it's one of the only songs that actually, never mind, I take that back. It actually features somebody. I was going to say it was one of the only songs that did not feature somebody.
And that was the other thing. Why did every song have a feature?
Every song had a feature. It was like Lil Tjay and Prince.
Actually, that's not true. The intro didn't. Ice Cold was just him.
Yeah, that's the only song that did not have a feature. It's funny. This episode, I feel like, was like root. This was just like the episode where everybody that dropped, we should root for to improve on their craft. Matter of fact, I'm sure you're going to take what I just said right now and call it the title of the episode. Roots.
No, I'm not.
Lil Tjay, to me, Lil Tjay got a little underdog feel to him, just like Lil Durk has a little underdog feel to him, just like Nav has a little underdog feel to him. Just like Nav also and Lil Durk, he's improved as an artist. It's obvious he's improved. I think when you listen to Ice Cold, his melody is a little crispier than it was in his previous songs. His content is a little more detailed, and his confidence is a little more stronger. Same thing with Zoo York. However, on the other songs on the project, I feel like they were rushed. I'm somebody, you can't just sing on a song and then think that, oh, I'm supposed to like it. You can't just think that you drop some type of melody on a song and I'm supposed to like it. I feel like on this album, he tried to trick people into thinking songs were good by just singing on them. That's not enough, my brother. It has to make sense. It has to feel right. And they just didn't feel right. But at the end of the day, I don't think this is a serious album. I think it's just a little playful EP. I'm not even sure a month ago he even knew he was going to come out with it. It seems like something that just was a spur of the moment type project. So I'm not going to put major stock into it. Matter of fact, I'm going to just say this was a practice shot for Lil Tjay. This won't even count towards his catalog for me. And so with that being said, it's about a D+ to a D album.
Damn.
It's pretty
that's a damn shame that the album has been out for one day and we're already disqualifying it.
I refuse.
Come on, man. That's
my
not
laptop almost broke listening to it, dog. Like my laptop started malfunctioning. Like, since when did Google Chrome start closing itself? Nah. I wasn't hip.
You know, hey man, I like Lil Tjay, but I don't know how to say this without it sounding bad, so I'll try to my hardest. But the music just sounded very amateurish, didn't it? It didn't sound like someone who is like a serious artist that is on the level that I believe he's on right now.
Yeah, I think he's good. I think he.
You know what I'm saying? Did you get that sense?
Yeah, I got that sense, and it's actually a reoccurring theme because that was how his other album actually sounded. Like he had glimpses of really good artistry, and then glimpses of just bad. And so, I think what he needs is a big homie to go into the studio with him, maybe help him produce some songs and kind of walk him through things. Maybe a Quentin Miller, not necessarily the righteous stuff, but just kind of like guide you where to go.
We know who that mentor will not be, and it won't be A Boogie or Don Q.
Oh, man. He burned that bridge. For no reason, too.
What was his problem? Like, that made no sense. Like, that made zero sense. Like, why are you thinking with dudes who you can clearly, like, make music with in the future? And, hey, you never know. They may piece it up. You know how this thing goes.
My man said, you know what? All these rappers, a lot of these rappers say they tough, but they do not say people's names. Like, my man said, yo, I'm keeping New York to nah, man. He said, Rainbow Boy and nah, man. I was
Bro,
like, no. I'm pretty sure that's A Boogie.
I knew exactly who he was talking about. I know exactly who he was talking about. Nah. And you know he's not gonna say 6ix9ine's name. Listen, I don't think. All right, man. You know what? Let's just end this segment, man. Again, decent to bad project from him, but hey, man, he might drop some fire.
He will
tomorrow.
I got trust.
I'm very high on Lil Tjay. I'm telling you, I'm still holding out hope.
I will tell you, the person that will not disappoint with his debut project is Polo G. I am a Polo G stan. He's sick. He's nice. Polo G will not disappoint.
Wait, hold on. You're a Polo G stan?
I'm a Polo G stan. I've been saying it for a while.
This is the first time I've ever heard you say you're a stan.
I've been said Polo G was nice.
No. I said this is the first time I've heard you say you're a stan of
officially. Yeah, officially. After I heard that. Did you hear his verse on that Lil Durk song? 3 notes?
Bro, listen.
Sick.
Polo G. Nice. Matter of fact, I'm hot. Dude, Polo G is a poet. That sounds crazy. He's a poet. I'm dead ass.
Nice.
I'm dead ass. He's a poet. Yeah, he may not be Wale poet wise, but the stuff he says, dog. You know what? Let's see what happens when he drops his album, man. We'll see.
Polo G is sick. Polo G is nice.
So, with the first song on the Ill and the Not So Advised, we got G-Eazy and Jack Harlow with their new song called Moana. What do you think of this, man? Since you're such a big fan of Jack Harlow. As a matter of fact, you've called him Christ before.
Did I?
Oh. Yeah, you definitely called him Jesus. But, you know, hey.
Been on the ooh-wee. It's a banger, man. It's hot. It's hot. The joint is, if clubs were open and this song played in the club, I think it would get the club turned up, man. Like, I like the vibes of it. Beat is nice. The lazy verses. G-Eazy's the king of lazy verses. He loves dropping himself a lazy ass verse. But I like the vibes. I like the song. I like it.
I do too, man. But one question though: is the verse lazy or is it mailed in? Which one? Because there's a difference. There's a difference.
It's a good question. I would say mailed in verse.
Damn.
Yeah, I would say mailed in. Which one's worse?
I think mailed in's worse.
Oh, wow. I think lazy's worse.
You think lazy's worse than mailed in? Bro, if I mail you in my verse, I really don't care about your shit, about your song. Like, I just don't.
So it stumps lazy. It's like...
I think so. But whatever, man. Regardless of the rankings, I think this is a dope song. It's hype. It's one of them joints that I wish I was outside.
Yes.
Right? Like,
I heard it in the club. Mm-hmm.
It's sad that we can't really go anywhere. But hey, man, maybe the song will have the longevity where I can actually hear this joint at some point at an outing.
Once we get out, once we get out, let's bump it. We'll bump this in 2C slide.
Definitely.
Trey's songs Back Home featuring Summer Walker. What you think?
This joint?
Hey.
This song?
This ain't the skirt. This is 5 stars, brother.
This joint might be 10.
Yeah.
I haven't heard a song this good in a long time. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not even lying. You know, and it's crazy because we're talking about Trey's songs. Where the hell has he been at musically? Where? Matter of fact, what's the last Trey songs? Damn, I'm about to do it again. Song that you've heard in general? Like, what was the last one?
Oh man, that's a good question.
Quiz for the episode.
That's a good question. I don't remember. I can honestly say I don't remember.
Neither do I. And I can tell you, without actually looking it up, it's been quite a while, not only since he's put out a song in general, but put out a song that I think is actually fire. Like, I think this joint is one of them joints that should be played everywhere. Radio, they should have a video where him and Summer Walker are getting all intimate. Maybe not now because everybody's social distancing, but like, I could see a video where it was like something like that happening, right? Like, this is a very, very good song. So, hey man, props to Trey Songz for just coming out of the blue and just dropping a song while everybody's quarantining. Like, come on. What the hell? Nobody ever saw that happening.
I mean, first and foremost, with this whole coronavirus going on, we needed feel-good vibes. That's exactly what we needed. This song gives you feel-good vibes and then some. I will say this, right? There's Trigger Trey. Trigger Trey's in the clubs all the time. There's hit-making Trey. And then there's Aretha Franklin Trey. This is Aretha Trey. A lot of people don't know who Aretha Trey is. This is Aretha Trey. We're talking, this is
bro, this is wasn't she was on the remix of I Gotta Make It.
Exactly.
Aretha Franklin, yeah.
I gotta make it. And I don't wanna leave, but I gotta go right. It's along those lines. And to me, that is one of the best Trey songs out there. He hasn't resorted to this style of music making for a while. So
it's been a long time.
We need this type of Trey songs in our lives. In these,
I agree. And yo, when is Summer Walker not going to be involved in a hit? She's on fire.
Summer Walker is an R&B plug, bro. R&B plug is great.
She is on fire, man. But you know what? Let's move on, man.
By the way,
what's up?
Sorry.
What's good? This better be good.
By the way, you know how I don't have a literal crush on Summer Walker. I'm wiped up. Or hubbied up, right? But I got a little crush on Summer Walker, a little here and there. I did not know she got a new booty.
Huh?
Right? She got a new booty.
What do you mean she got a new booty?
She bought a booty.
She had already bought one. What do you mean she bought another one?
Oh, she already bought? No, I didn't know that. I didn't know this is news to me. I found out she bought a booty. I was like, yo, one picture I was looking at Summer Walker, I was like, wait a second. Like, her joint's poking a little bit. Like, I don't remember her joint poking like this.
Her joint is poking. Yeah, listen, man. Hey, first off, relax. Calm down. Damn, she bought a second booty? Like, I swear she bought one before, but because
I'm not aware of the first booty. I'm not aware.
Bro, that shit looks like, and I'm not shaming the booty. Women, if y'all want to go get your ass done, it's on you. Just I'm not paying for it.
She made it though. I watch a lot of Botched, right? She made the booty look perfect. Like it was nice and it poked out. It was nice and small, not excessive. It was just perfect. Like if you are an aspiring booty upgrader, go take a look at Summer Walker's booty, and you should aspire to get a booty like that. It pokes out, but it's not outrageous.
It's a subtle booty. It's
a subtle butt lift.
It's subtle but big. Lift, by the way. What's up?
What is a butt lift?
Bro, why are you asking me? I don't freaking know. Well, fuck, you the one that watched. You just told me you watched Botched, and you asking me. You should be telling me.
But do they just take the ass and just move it up a little bit? What is a butt lift? I don't know what a butt lift is.
Yeah, I don't know, dog. I don't know. Actually, I heard butt lifts come from Brazil. There's a Brazilian butt lift. So, like, how does that one work? Is there like an American butt lift? Why is there only a Brazilian?
And then they got ass shots, right? I don't know what the ass shot. Somebody then took a tranquilizer on your booty, and then it starts to plump up. I don't know,
bro. You watching too many goddamn horror films. Listen, enough of the booty. Although I would never want to put a cap on a booty conversation. This is an amazing conversation, but we got some new music to get into, man. But yeah, shout out to Summer Walker, man. Like I said, she's on fire. She's on fire.
Yes, on fire. Speaking of booty, I had to mix the thing, a little bit, so on the fly. Megan Thee Stallion and Beyonce Savage remix. What you think?
Hey, bro, you skipped one.
I know I did that on purpose because I wanted to transition to booty.
Hey, good transition. That's a good point.
That's how you work on the fly.
Hey, good transition skills there. I think you have a career in broadcasting. But
thank you very much.
Well, it has to be about broadcasting about booties, but you know what? This is one of those songs that I would say we destroyed Megan Thee Stallion's new album, right? Remember we talked about it. We said her new album called what's the name of it? What was the name of her album? Do you remember? Sugar,
yes.
She dropped Sugar, had like 8 or 9 songs on it. Savage was one of them, minus the Beyonce feature. There weren't many standouts on that project. It just seemed like one of those projects that was kind of a waste, maybe rushed, maybe could have been done a little better. Savage was one of those songs that was on it. I do not remember being blown away by it. As a matter of fact,
I agree with that.
It was one of those songs where I was like, I feel like I cut it off early.
Yes.
I feel like it was one of those songs I was like, all right, man, I can't take this anymore. I'm out. Like, next song. Surprisingly, this Beyonce feature made this song very, very appealing. To the point where I said, wait a minute, this is actually a good song. Like, it's not bad. It's not as bad as I thought it was. So, hey, man, let's see what are you raving about it as well, or what?
You are right on the money, my brother, with that assessment. Like, I glossed over this song. I was just looking at a review of the Sugar album. I listened to it and just skipped it. Didn't think anything of it. I mean, it has an old school feel a little bit. The hook is simple. It's nothing special, really. Beyonce went ahead and made it special. Rapping and doing all that stuff and pure swagger. To me, Megan Thee Stallion sometimes struggles with swag. And I feel like Beyonce has an abundance of swag. And so adding Beyonce's swag to this song made it so much better. Like when you are that top-notch artist, it's not always about the quality of music. It's how do you swag yourself to the finish line on the music? And Beyonce definitely added to it. And I think she made it a better song. Like lately, remixes are not impressive to me at all. This is one of those rare occasions where the remix is way better than the original. Nobody's going to remember the original.
Yeah.
Just like nobody remembers the original version of Crush on You with Lil C's. Can you imagine? Three versions of Lil
C's. Yeah, man. Hey, but I do want to backtrack a little bit and not talk about Megan Thee Stallion real quick because you skipped over a song that came out, and I'm appalled. I'm appalled at you.
Me?
Roy Woods.
What are you talking about?
Roy Woods, Toronto's version of Prince, dropped a new song called I Feel It. It's really, really good, guys. It's really, really good. That's all I had to say. You know, I'm not gonna rave about it too much because listen, if you're not into the music, which I guess you're not, because you don't care about this song, you're probably not gonna like this song. But if you are a fan of music, there's no reason to skip over this. No reason.
Hey, my man.
One reason. You gave Nav's album a full listen, and you have nothing to say about Roy Woods. I Feel It.
Hey, listen.
Wow.
Roy Woods sounds constipated on the song. How about that? No, baby, he sounds like a constipated Michael Jackson on the song, actually.
You say he sounds like Michael Jackson.
He does. Constipated Michael.
Nah, he sound like Prince. I give him Prince. He has the Prince Prince vibe.
He sounds like Michael Jackson when a Michael Jackson that's fighting off allegations. You know, there was several different versions of Michael Jackson. There was the confrontational Michael Jackson. That's the Michael Jackson sounds like.
I feel it too. I feel it too.
All right, bro. If you got a poo-poo, there's several bathrooms you can go to. But
let's move on to another remix that we'll debate whether or not this is better than the original or not. But Doja Cat dropped a remix to her Say So song featuring Nicki Minaj. What'd you think of this, man?
You know what? Similar to Savage, but not to the same degree. I was not blown away by Say So when I first heard it on Doja Cat's album. I'm still not blown away by it. It's a good song, but I don't understand people's obsession with it. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, it's good, but it's not, like, great to me. But lately, a couple remixes came out. There's, like, a Major Lazer remix. There's another remix of somebody else I can't remember right now. But now there's a Nicki Minaj remix to the song. Once again, I think Nicki Minaj actually makes this song not better, but she gives it a different type of feel, a different way you can view it, which I think helps it. Though Doja Cat doesn't change anything on this remix, she still keeps her same verse. I feel like Nicki found a good way to just blend in with what was already made and almost making it seem like they made the song together. So I think it's a really, really, really good remix. I really do.
You know, funny you did not like this song, I guess when it originally came out, because I was in that ballpark. I remember vividly when this joint dropped, I was saying to myself, like, that was this nonsense. Like, I don't want to hear this at all. And for whatever reason, I heard it again randomly, then I heard it again another time randomly, and I was like, yo, this is actually not bad. It's not as bad as I thought it was. Fast forward, and then Nicki Minaj jumped on the remix. By that point, I had already told myself this is a decent song. Mm-hmm. I think Nicki added a little nice appeal. more than anything, I will say I like the collaboration between them. Like they had really good energy. Like I could really see both of them making more songs together. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not many people that I would say that about Nicki Minaj. There's not many people who I would be like, yo, Nicki and such would make a really good song together. I don't think I've ever said that.
Yeah.
But Doja Cat's one of them that I would throw in that.
That would be dope. That would be dope.
Yeah.
I think now let's go to the not so advised.
Yeah, let's do that. We might disagree on some songs that are not so advised, man. I'd like to toss this to you first and foremost, because the first song we have to talk about is Migos and that new song they dropped called Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, did it come out? Did it come out on Cinco de Mayo?
Yeah, it did. It did Tuesday. Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday. I tell me what you think about this song, man.
You know what? I thought it was good. I don't even know. Listen, I'm tired of the damn interns putting songs that I think are good in the not advised or whatever. I'm tired of it.
Listen, hold on. Yo, this is the last time you're gonna blame an intern for something that I did. Okay? Now, sometimes the intern does do this, but other times it's me. And this time it's me. This song is awful.
Oh my God.
This song is awful. Now, I get it. Everybody's having a good old time because it's Taco. Listen, I had a blast on Taco Tuesday. Bro, I ate tacos all week. All week. Like, I literally had a taco Tuesday. Well, minus Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for lunch. I'm all for Taco Tuesday. This song gave me nostalgic Migos vibes, but like, the joint it's average to below average. Like, we're not going to act like this song is great. I'm like, listen, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, man.
You know why you think it was average? Because Takeoff wasn't on it that much.
See, I knew you would go with the low blow, and as if I actually care, because I really don't anymore. Listen, we've established that Offset is the #1 Migos, which I have a proposal for the Migos.
Thank you.
Did you see the single art for this song?
I did, but I can't remember what it looked like.
It was like 3 what looked like taco salsa thingies.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called? It was 3. What's it called? But nonetheless, Quavo's name is still in the center of it. What I would actually like to issue an amendment and figure out how Offset can now be considered the leader of this group. Because if that doesn't happen, I don't believe the Migos can take that next step in their group arsenal that they have going on.
Quavo's still the star.
Quavo is not still the star.
Quavo is the most dynamic artist on that group. Quavo is still the star. However, is he the best? No. The best isn't always the leader of the group, by the way.
It usually is.
No.
You name me one sporting team where the best player is not the leader. Go.
Washington Wizards. Our Wizards. Bradley Beal is the best player. At the time, John Wall was considered the best player. John Wall was considered the leader. John Wall was the leader. Hey, I'm telling you the truth. John Wall was the leader. He was the leader. But Bradley Beal was the best player.
That's arguable.
Okay.
When John Wall was in his prime, not hurt, Bradley Beal was not better than him. He was not.
Okay, I'll give you another one.
He may have been more skilled in other areas, but I would not say he was better than John Wall personally at that time.
I'll give you another one then, just for you. Right. This one's a little more controversial. LeBron James is the leader of the Lakers. Is he the best player on that team? Anthony Davis, you can argue, is the best player on that Lakers team.
Well, I like that one. I would still argue that LeBron is the best player.
Okay.
I would argue for LeBron. The reason why I would argue for LeBron is because LeBron is still the guy. He's still the engine. Like, he is the guy that is going to make or break that team. I'm not saying they can win without Anthony Davis. I'm not saying that.
Okay, but Quavo's the engine. Quavo is the engine. That's what I'm telling you. He's the engine, but he's not the best artist, rapper on that group. That's all I'm saying.
Who's not the best what? Let's say that one more time.
He's not the best artist in that group. He's not the best rapper in that group. Quavo.
Oh, yeah, he's not. Yeah, he's not.
Sorry, I'm going to say he's the best artist. I take that back. He's the best
That's all I'm like, homie, what are you saying? He's definitely not the best rapper. We get
he's
that.
The best artist, the best rapper in the group is Offset. He's actually the worst rapper in the group to me.
Yes.
Offset, Takeoff, then Quavo. But
correct.
artistry, Quavo, Takeoff. Quavo, Offset, Takeoff.
I'm not a fan of this song, man. Maybe it'll grow on me. Maybe not. We'll see.
It's because you ate laced tacos.
Hey, man. Maybe. My tacos were great that day.
You know, I didn't eat tacos on Taco Tuesday. You know why?
You're sacrilegious.
My Cinco de Mayo is forever destroyed. You know why? Because my wife her birthday is on Cinco de Mayo. May 5th, I will never eat a taco again. It's got to be all fancy
food. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Whose rule is that?
It's birthday rule. I don't have no. So we actually ate fancy Italian food.
Oh my God!
It's a birthday.
Oh, I'm not mad at it.
The Mayo gets trumped.
That's funny as shit. Yeah, let's move on, man. I have no opinion about that. That's your problem. Next song, we got YG, Laugh Now, Cry Later. What do you think of this, man? Because apparently you hate this song. I thought it was pretty decent. So we'll see which intern did this, or was this your doing?
Intern did good this time, man. Intern did good.
Intern is on the rocks.
I didn't love this. I didn't love this song. You know, I have a confession I have to make. I only make confessions every once in a while. Today is the day I'm gonna make a confession. I am not the biggest YG fan. A lot of people say they like YG, and a lot of people are like, he's a top-notch rapper, et cetera, et cetera. Personally, I don't see it. I think his aura is nice. His style is dope. He's a real-ass dude. You can't deny that. But rapping-wise, his music doesn't hit for me. Does he put together bodies of work that are complete? Yeah, he puts together like cinematic albums. But he's not the most appealing artist to listen to. So Laugh Now, Cry Later kind of felt like a vulnerable YG joint. And personally, I just feel like you gotta be a really good rapper to make a vulnerable rap joint click. He's decent, but his work, it just did not click with me. I was not feeling it. As an album filler, maybe as something that like is like combined in with a whole bunch of other songs, it may sound better. But as a single, didn't hit for me.
You know, as usual, you don't know what you're talking about, but hey, it's like, no, I'm messing with you. But nah, you know what? I don't think this is not one of those songs that I would call out and say it's bad. I personally think this song is decent to good. It's not a bad song. Like we were having this conversation musically versus whether it slaps and all of this other stuff, right? Which we had offline, but I'm bringing it up now. This is not a bad song, like structure-wise. Like it's actually well put together. It sounds good. There's some things that he's doing that I'm not used to him doing, like singing. Mm-hmm. I'm just not. I don't think I've ever heard YG sing like that. So that was like that was the most unbelievable or different thing that I was hearing. I was trying to figure out whether or not I liked it or not. I will say when I was done listening to it a few times, I didn't hate it. So I would say the song is average to good. I would not say the song is bad. So I don't agree with that.
I wasn't feeling it, but hey, my ears might be blocked with wax.
Quite possibly. Let's move on to the next song. French Montana dropped a song with Tory Lanez called Cold. Is this song even worth talking about? I personally, I don't think it was that good, so it deserves to be on this not so advised list.
Yes.
I think we can agree on that.
Yes.
I think we can agree on that. So let's talk about why it's not good, though, briefly.
It just seemed like such a pointless song, right? It just seemed like people just talking. And, I don't know. The song, it slaps. It's trill. It's...
Oh, boy. Yo, I gotta get you. I gotta get you a synonym, man. Sorry, a thesaurus. My bad. Wrong word.
Kendrick Lamar is sweating right now.
Shit. Yeah, because he had a nightmare that had nothing to do with French Montana. He worried about real shit in this world. Police brutality.
Kendrick Lamar is gangster for not even talking. He hasn't even said a word since this thing came out. Kendrick Lamar, even when they're gonna ask Kendrick Lamar eventually, he's gonna do some type of album press run whenever his new album comes out. Somebody's gonna ask him. I'm curious to see what he says or hear what he says.
I'm not, because he shouldn't even discuss it. It's beneath him.
Man, but yeah, this song's not that good.
I agree. So, with my ill-advised thoughts, I would like to talk about the fact that, hip-hop has evolved so much over time, and, it's well documented that, like, sampling has been a big part of the hip-hop music scene, from, the beginning stages, the first hip-hop song, up until now. You're still hearing songs that are being sampled, even up till now. And I really don't think that's an element that will ever really go away. So I thought something was really interesting that happened this week, and it was the fact that the U.S. Library of Congress built a royalty-free hip-hop sampling site. And I'm reading this straight from this website called Music Tech. And essentially what this means for artists from now moving forward is the fact that you're going to be able to sample old songs, you're going to be able to sample old speeches, you're going to be able to sample all of these old historical royalty-free, which means you don't have to pay for it, which means if you use it, no one's going to come and then start asking for money because you sampled the music. You sampled whether it was music or someone's voice. This is really important, man, because the royalty game is really big in the music industry, and it's been one of those things that's allowed many artists in the past to still be eating off of money. Still be eating off of samples and music that they put out in the past. So if you're an up-and-coming artist or you're an artist that's still out trying to make a name for yourself, I'll give you the release date because this is very important. In August of this year, you're going to be able to go onto the U.S. Library of Congress royalty hip-hop sampling site and download royalty-free music and voice recordings for free. You're not going to have to worry about a 60s artist coming back talking about, hey, you made a hit, give me my money because you have a platinum song and I want my money even though like you never hit them up. You're not gonna have to worry about any of that. This is a very, very big deal that I think it might end up having a very, very positive impact for like indie artists and then just up and coming artists making music, trying to make a name for yourself, sampling music like everybody has been sampling from the beginning of hip hop until now. Because like I said, I think this is one of those things that's been within music that's never going to change. Sampling is going to be here from now until the end of music. Personally, I don't even feel like you can make music without sampling something. Like, if you really think about it, for all the producers out there, all the artists, songwriters, you have a beat, you get a kit, you have a virtual kit that you downloaded from somewhere. That virtual kit of sounds came from somewhere. A lot of us, we don't even really know where that shit comes from. So, again, this is very important because it's going to change, I believe, the game for indie artists, and you're not going to be able to have to just report to anybody that you use their music or anything like that. So stay on the lookout for the release date of, like I said, this U.S. Library of Congress building this site. And let me give you the name right now. It's going to be called Dubbed Citizen DJ. I see here it's a tool that gives you access to audio recordings from library collections dated back to over 100 years. These are things that some of your favorite producers have been doing for the longest that you're not even really familiar with, but because they have access to, record labels who can actually pay the money to actually dish out to those people who would be requesting these royalties. Hey, you're welcome. That's all I have to say. That's my ill-advised thoughts.
That's a very, very interesting ill-advised thoughts. I mean, if Puff Daddy was still making music more often, he would be very happy with you right now. The king of that was interesting. That was interesting.
Thank you. I thought it was something interesting that happened, but I'm just not sure how many people know about that or even care. But I think if more people know about this, it's definitely going to open some eyes. But
I think so. And that's especially for aspiring artists, because a lot of aspiring artists are coming into the game not necessarily knowing about these things like sampling and getting sued. So right here, you already know before you even get popping, like there is something that you can go to.
Yeah, I mean, look at one example before you go. Juice WRLD, right? Juice WRLD's biggest song, his first hit, Lucid Dreams, right? The producer that made that beat sampled a song by Sting. As a matter of fact,
yes.
The majority of the song was like a complete loop of Sting's, I forget the name of the song. Damn. Anyway, it was a song by Sting. But the point is, it was said that actually Sting sued Juice WRLD and the record label that put that song out.
Yes, he did.
They got about 80% of the proceeds, the profits. I think it was 85% of the profits that was made from that song. That song went like 3 or 4 times platinum.
Yeah.
Right? So you can imagine the amount of money, the check that was cut for somebody like Sting because they didn't properly sample and give rights to the person that originally made this. So again, this is something that could help out aspiring artists and even artists that are popping right now, man. So we'll see.
For sure, man. My ill-advised thought, not dot. It's a deep one. It's a powerful one. It is the use of the N-word by people that aren't Black. So what does the N-word mean to you? To me, the N-word is a historically racist word that has been made into a dynamic word that is used exclusively amongst Black people like myself today. In other words, the N-word symbolizes that us as Black people are capable of making the sweetest lemonade out of lemons that were given to us that were both rotten and poisoned. And guess what? If you aren't Black, you aren't allowed to take a sip of that lemonade that we just made. With that being said, the word is abused misused, and oftentimes stolen by those that aren't Black. While nearly every single time a white person says the N-word, especially with the ER at the end, they are reprimanded, and rightfully so. They weren't the most amazing people to our ancestors, right? However, when someone who isn't white says the word, we aren't so quick to put them in their place. In hip hop, there are a bunch of rappers that aren't Black that say the N-word. Some actually say it more than Black people, right? I hate to call out names, so I'll just give you a clue of some of the people. One of them reps Gucci Gang, and the other one has colorful rainbow hair. I don't understand the worlds these rappers live in, so I'm not going to sit here and judge them. But what I will do is ask them this question. What does the N-word mean to you? Is it something cool to say? Do you think deep down that you got Black roots? Is the word there for you? Do you use the word to boost your brand? What I will tell people that are brown, white, Asian, et cetera, is that some of the excuses that I've been hearing has not been acceptable. One common excuse I hear from non-Black N-word users is that, oh, my friends use it that are Black, Jamaican, so I feel like I can use it too. Okay, I get that. But are you paying your dues for using the N-word? A word that isn't yours, essentially. As Black people, we've allowed people to take without any exchange our culture, our words, our everything. So my thing is this. If you're going to use the N-word and you're not Black and you're not white, are you going to give us some type of exchange for that? If you're going to use the N-word, are you going to stand up for Black injustice? If you're going to use the N-word, are you going to give back to the Black communities? Someone who does just that is Fat Joe. So I'm not as angry with Fat Joe. I'm still not comfortable with Fat Joe using the word as much, but I'm somewhat, it's stomachable to me. That's because Fat Joe has actually talked about going to Africa and giving back. And Fat Joe is heavy in the Black communities. That's highly documented. The main reason I brought this topic to light is because I've noticed that a lot of the rappers of today are using the N-word quite a bit. For instance, Nav, someone who the other day in an article said that he stopped using the N-word because he was pressed by a lot of critics about using the word. His excuse was that he grew up with Black, Jamaican, Spanish, Asian people around him, so he felt comfortable enough to use the word. Well, clearly logic got to him because he stopped using the word. So in conclusion, this is what I got to say. The N-word has always been a confusing topic. But if you have interest in using it, I simply ask you to answer this one question. What does the word mean to you? If you can't give me a straight, logical answer, maybe you shouldn't use it. That's my ill-advised thoughts.
Hey, I have one word for you.
Yes, sir. Overachiever.
That's what that ill-advised thoughts was. That was phenomenal. That was great. That was great. That was very, very thought-provoking. I was sitting back and really, really assessing the situation because I feel the same way you feel. It's one of those topics that like when people have real conversations about it, you can call out so many contradictions, right? There's so many inconsistencies with who can use it, when they can use it, and who they can use it around. And the simple fact that, like you said, Nav got checked and he backed off, that's one of those indications that, okay, maybe he shouldn't have been using it from the jump. Like, if you're not going to keep the same energy,
yes,
if you're not going to believe in this enough to be like, no, like, I'm a part of this culture. So yeah. I'm not going to stop using it because you're trying to check me. that means that you never really believed in it from the beginning. Like, you
Yeah.
didn't believe.
Yeah. What does it mean?
Whatever that even means, you believed in. I don't even know what that means, but my point is, whatever he believed in, for him to use it, he didn't feel that strongly enough.
Yeah. You can kind of just dismiss it. You can kind of just be like, oh, well, I don't have to use it. Gone. And I do have an issue with that. At the end of the day, it's a word that means something. At the end of the day, I understand, like, we use it as Black people. Sometimes we use it in a bad way. Sometimes we use it, just kind of as a greeting. But at the end of the day, it means something historically and today. And so I don't think we should just sit back and allow people to say it in our faces, and especially if you're not Black, and not feel some type of way or not bring that up that you feel uncomfortable about it. But at the same time, like, we don't know these stories, like I said. So, I'm curious. I'm curious to see what people's reaction is to what I just said.
Yeah, man. That's again, very, very, that's probably that might be your best ill-advised thought. Real talk. Yeah. That might be the number one. So, man, that's interesting that you brought that up, man. We'll see what people feel. We'll see if people feel a certain type of way, and we'll try to get some answers. How about that?
We're gonna get some answers to this.
Let's try to get some damn answers.
I need some answers.
Let's play 60 Minutes on these people.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking
about. I think we're at the end of the show, man. I think it's been a good episode. Good way to end it, man. As always, if you are giving advice, make sure it's ill.
Yes, sir. Hey, and wear your mask. Make sure you wear your mask and make sure it's clean. Ill advice.
Oh! Hey, here's my mask.
You will catch corona immediately.
Oh!
Immediately.
Bow, 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 bow.
Bow, bow, bow.